What's going on, you guys? This is your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and
This is Harvianna. I'm young, I'm fresh, and I'm so new.
all right. So this is your boy Scotty by Nature once again, and we're here with Harvianna, okay? And he
Oh,
is a young, fresh, and new YouTuber, okay? He's still kind of new in the game right now, and if you don't know who he is, then you are gonna get to know him tonight, okay? I will tell you this: he is one of my favorite YouTubers. He's a hidden gem in this shit, in my opinion. I don't care what nobody got to say about it. I really feel like he deserves to be seen by more people. And hopefully, after you guys watch this, you know what I'm saying, you will go and check his channel out. And please know that his YouTube channel link will be at the bottom of the video. So once this is over, you can go and check him out. I've been on his channel. Jamar been on his channel. Carl been on his channel. A couple of people that you know has been on his channel.
and
So
so
we're
has Bando.
so this what you say?
So has Bando.
Oh my God, he brought you up Saturday, I think. He was talking
Oh,
about your interview with Carl. He was talking about how good it was, by the
he
way.
did,
So
yes.
yeah, he did say that. But so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So Harvianna, aka Harvin, aka as Aaron will call you, Harvina. Okay. So what got you started into YouTube? What made you want to get your own YouTube channel? How
A
did it?
lawsuit.
Huh?
So I got a lawsuit. Someone
Okay.
was suing me,
Hmm.
and a producer had put out a story, and they requested all web reality not to allow me to interview about the story that they put out about that lawsuit.
Hmm.
And I said I will never be silenced like that again. So I said I'm gonna always create my own voice, and that's what made me start my own YouTube channel. Honestly.
So you did. So was there anybody you ever looked at on YouTube and you probably looked at them and been like, first of all, before I even ask you that, who are some of the people that you watch on YouTube? Like, who would you consider to be one of your favorite YouTubers to watch? Well, not just one. You could give me a couple of them if you want to.
So my favorite was definitely T.S. Madison and Kaya.
Hmm.
Definitely Funky Dineva.
Hmm.
Definitely the Chasing Panel. Definitely. Who else do I watch on YouTube? I actually like Aaron Wild Out TV because I like his New York accent. I just like who else do I like on YouTube? And then I just watch Judge Judy and Judge Million, those girls.
I know
Absolutely.
you like House of Aaron too. You told me that before.
Oh, House of Aaron is literally, oh yeah, absolute favorite. He gets the timing right. He give you a good 7, 8 minute video, give you the tea, and he's so monotone but so shady. I live. I won't change a thing, honey. Absolute one of my favorites. Absolute love. Yeah.
Okay, so is there a person that you watched before you got your own YouTube channel and you looked at them and you said, I could do what they doing? Because I know for me, as I tell everybody when I do this, as for me, when I first started, the people that I was looking at, I was watching The Scorpion Show. I was watching Sweet Additions TV. There was a YouTuber by the name of Brian B. There was another YouTuber named Spoken Reasons. And there was another YouTuber named Cadillac Kimberly that I used to watch all the time. Oh, and Much Love from Kentucky. I used to watch them all the time. And I wanted to do YouTube because I was already doing videos on Facebook. So when I was watching them, they gave me all the inspiration to go out and do it myself. Is there anybody that you looked at that made you want to do it yourself?
Well, now that you said that, definitely. And this is going way, way back.
Hmm.
It is Mona Simone. I used to love Bad Girls Club.
Oh yeah,
I live for the Mona persona,
I
all of
love it
that. And
too.
he's doing a lot of stuff now, like a whole lot, like acting, all this stuff. A Connection TV, I think is the name now.
Yeah, that's the name.
Love it. I love it. Yeah. So it
Yeah,
was actually Mona Simone back
yeah.
then. So
Back then, I used to watch him too because when I first started, we were doing Bad Girls Club reviews. I used to do Bad Girls Club too. I think the first season I reviewed when I first got on YouTube was season 5, so I go way back with that. I was reviewing Bad Girls Club. Me and Jamar was both reviewing Bad Girls Club, which is how we became friends in the first place on here. And then I was looking at him, A Connection TV, and I used to love the Mona Simone thing and the interviews
Yeah.
you used to do as Mona Simone. I used to like that shit too. So you took it back with that one. You took it back with that one.
So that,
Now,
and then he's like a little androgynous. He wore wigs and stuff. So I'm like,
mhm.
okay, this is somebody. Yeah.
Okay, so before you got on YouTube,
Hmm.
I think the first time I saw you, I was watching this show and it went by the name Glam Devos. I was watching the show. Now, before I came to know you and I've hung out with you before, I thought you was an asshole on this show when I first saw you. I was like, I don't think I'll get along with this motherfucker right here. I don't really believe that. So I did because you was shady as fuck on this show. But I guess the more I've been on your platform and stuff, and I met you in person, I see that you are shady, but it's not in a malicious way. I always tell you that you mess as hell, but it's not malicious. You know what I mean? Like you
Absolutely.
don't go underneath the belt to be malicious and stuff like that. That's which is why I like your channel anyway. So could you tell people who probably don't know nothing about that show, um, about I'm not being shady when I say
Ooh, see, you call me shady
that.
just when you say that's
But
cute. Hmm.
that's when I first saw you on there. So could you tell the people that's watching right now, um, your experience as a web reality star before you became a web reality, I guess a web reality blogger. I guess you could consider yourself that. I'm not sure if you
I
would.
did a little crossover, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed doing the show when it was happening.
Hmm.
It got towards the end when I said, Harvin, you have made yourself the damn villain, and you weren't even trying to. You just wanted to make TV,
Yeah.
but now the whole cast hates you. Now, how do you show up with wig on to the reunion? It just ain't gonna happen.
Right.
So on the show, it was actually fine. I had a little issues with production, and as we see, it was never really fully produced. And so that's kind of how that went. And actually seeing now reviewing web reality shows, I'm glad that it didn't air in its entirety because I'm like, oh yeah, we had some things that we could have improved on for sure. But
Okay.
yeah, I enjoy filming. I enjoy stirring the pot, keeping up mess, reading a girl down to the ground, hurting someone's feelings, and then apologizing the next episode. I enjoyed those things. Absolutely. I'll do it again 10 times over. But now I know like how it's supposed to go. And I only want to do it if it's gonna come out. Hmm.
Okay, so I was just about to ask you that. I was just about to ask you, would you ever do another web reality show again? And if you were to
Absolutely.
do another web reality show, would it be along the same lines as the one that you were on or the shows that you talk about?
I like the idea of glam devos. Honest to God,
Mhm.
true. Great concept. And it just wasn't produced properly. I would have made a couple of cast changes, but I absolutely love it. But I do like some of the other things. I do like the kind of housewife format. That's what
Yeah.
works for me. Not the Bad Girls Club format, not the Zeus format.
Mm-mm.
That ain't gonna work for me. But I do like the housewives format. So any show that's kind of like that, where it's more so you fight with your words, that's where I shine.
Because you're
Cause
not a knuckle up type of person. You
I
don't.
yeah, oh well. I would rather like I like battling with I love knowledge. As we know, I got 2 degrees and working on my third. So
Okay.
right. So like I like to be challenged mentally
Mm-hmm.
versus physically. I think that anybody can defend themselves. I mean, I've been in the military. It's not like I've never touched anybody.
But you
We have
prefer
to
not to.
qualify with an M16 and an M4. So please don't, get it confused, honey. Don't get it confused. Mhm.
You are so fucking funny to me. I knew this shit was gonna be funny.
Mhm.
So what would you say is the difference between is it raining?
Oh Jesus! Is it getting wet over there?
What's the difference? What's
What?
the difference between web reality Harvin and web reality blogger Harvianna?
I think they're the same.
Okay.
Actually, I think that they're the same. I
Mhm.
think that what people like and see about me on reviewing shows and blogging and things would be what you would get if I was ever on the show. It's the same thing. It's the same shady mess. And now with my YouTube channel, it provides the opportunity for me to people to really follow it more and understand, oh, he's not a bully. Oh, he's not mean. He's just funny. He's crazy, say anything that comes to his mind. And he asks good questions like that people really want to know. It's not that I'm trying to be shady, but it's what the people want to know. Like when I met you, I asked you the questions that
You
the people
did.
want to
You
know.
did.
Like that's just my personality overall because I would rather ask a question than to make an assumption.
That's true. I would say that. I remember when you first got your channel, I would
Mhm.
watch from the background at first.
I heard.
I wouldn't comment in the chat. I wouldn't say anything, especially during that time, child. 'Cause
During those hard times, those tough, tumultuous times.
everybody was, it seemed like everybody was coming at me then. But I was just sitting back in the cut watching, and I'm like, he not that bad. I thought he was just some mean ass bitch, but he really not that bad. Cause I'm telling you, watching you on Glam Devos, I swear you came across mean as hell. Like it just came across. But just watching your channel, I'm like, he's really not like what I thought he probably would have been. And that's the thing with these web shows. Sometimes they do kind of put you in a light that you're really not at times,
Mhm.
because Tramiel says it all the time. When he was on G Status, I didn't really like him like that on G Status until I met him in person, until we interviewed him, and then I met him, and now we besties now. So that's the
Mhm.
difference. So yeah, so when I would watch your channel, I'm like, he is funny as fuck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I said, but I ain't finna say shit. And then I sit back and I watch it with Jamar. Me and Jamar be on the phone. We'll be texting each other. I'm like, bitch, are you watching Harvianna? Like, yeah, girl, I'm watching Harvianna. Like, we will be waiting for you to go live. And then when I come to Atlanta with Jamar, we'll sit in his living room, put you on the TV and watch you.
That
Like,
is so
like that's how we would do. So, so it leads me to this question.
mm,
Now that you're in the YouTube situation now, and I feel like even though you're not as consistent as I think you should be,
that is true.
um, I do feel like you have kind of created your your tribe, meaning the hitters. I think that's what you call them, right?
That's what they're
Yeah,
called. I have
you
created
have
them
created
bitches.
your tribe.
Absolutely. Mm.
You do have like a group of you have a good support group that really do tune in and support you and stuff like that.
And even come visit me.
They
It's
even come
amazing.
visit you. They even come visit you. So how do you feel being? Because I really do say that when it comes down to it, you are in excuse me, you are in that web reality um lane. How do you feel being a part of that? Because there's not a lot of people that do cover web reality. At one point it was only one person doing it, and now there's a couple of y'all doing it. So how does it feel with you being in that lane and you doing that? Because you're doing interviews now, and you're also recapping some of the shows at times. You're even recapping shows that a lot of people haven't touched, like On the Rise Houston. I've known about that show for a long time. They've been following me on Instagram for a long time and stuff like that. I just never covered the show, but I did watch it in the background. I have. Because my channel's not built on web reality, so I can
I
only,
know you
yeah,
mainstream,
I
honey.
can I can only recap one web reality show at a time. I can't do them all. So, how does it feel being in that lane, and what makes you like be your own person in that lane? Because sometimes when we're all doing the same thing, it's always imperative to do the same thing, but be different when you're doing it. Because, for example,
Mhm.
there's me, there's House of Aaron, there's Jamie, that's me, there's Bundy Blue, there's Armand Wiggins, there's Tasha K. I feel like we're all doing the same thing, but we all have our own styles at the same time. So how
Absolutely.
important is that to you, being in this web world and covering it and doing your own thing?
I think that everybody understands and knows that Harvard's going to be very risque, going to ask all those questions that you don't want. You know, I never, anybody who I've ever interviewed, and I've interviewed you before, and
You
Jamar,
have.
I do not ask y'all like, hey, can I not? Is there anything that we can't discuss? I've never asked that. That's never been DM to anybody who's ever came up on my channel. I'm gonna ask any and everything that people want. And I'm an intellectual as well, so I mix that with mess and drama and what's shown on shows. So I like that's what I like to do. I like to get down to the nitty gritty. I like for you to do. I want your actions to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So that's really my thing. Other people, I think, teeter. Other people are fans of the girls who they interview. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
very important.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I see that I do like your interviews though. I think the interview that because I've been interviewed before, and I think that the one that Jamar and I did with you was probably one of my favorite ones because it was the right amount of mess and shade, but also getting to know us at the same time.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed that, and I like that because you give more than one thing. Like you could be messy, you could be shady, but you also ask the right questions as well. That's why I don't mind going on your platform sometimes because it's not all the time where I go on everybody's platform. I have to really fuck with you in order to do that.
Yeah.
So that's where it's at. Now, with your channel and seeing how people do like you and some do love you, like myself. Um, what do you foresee your channel doing in the future? Like are you gonna stay in web reality or are you gonna pick up other things besides that too? Because it's nothing wrong with doing web reality, but it's also important to also interject different things into your channel too, so you can do a lot of different things. I never tell people to stray away from what they know because I mean reality TV was all I knew and that's all I used to do at first until the pandemic came along and there was no reality TV to recap at one point. So I had to get into the
Mhm.
gossip part, and that helps. But I'm also getting into the music content as well because I love
And
music.
that helps, especially when they
Yep.
beefing, honey.
Ah!
Absolutely. No, but what what it is for me is as far as where I see my channel going, it was so crazy you asked that because when I was on this hiatus, the reason I was on hiatus is I was finishing up the last couple of classes in my master's. So that was priority over YouTube. No shade.
Yes,
Oh, you
absolutely.
YouTube. But that was my priority at the time. But then I was like, I'm kind of bored with web reality. At that time, many shows weren't coming out. A lot of producers was letting the web reality fandom down at the time. So I was
Hmm.
like, what else is there to talk about? The mess and the drama had kind of became obsolete. So I really like controversy. That is my thing. That's my hot spot. That's what tickles me on the inside, honey. Is controversy. So anything that's controversial that can cause some type of conversation, like this latest episode of Chasing, honey. I really think that that is my lane. I'm gonna always stick with that. So as long as web reality continues to provide controversy, I'm gonna
Hmm.
continue to talk about it. But if mainstream girls are taking over and the battling of the beefs of the rap girlies battling and things, if that's more controversial, then that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna follow the controversy because I love to hear myself talk and I love to hear others speak too. So like love it. I like controversy, honey.
Okay, so are there any other web reality shows that you want to cover?
Well, I just got hit up today about you brought them up on the Rise Houston.
Hmm.
That's going to be a thing that I'm probably going to be covering this year. I love chasing. See, I'm late bloomer to web reality. Actually, I didn't
Uh-huh.
actually watch none of the shit. I mean, the stuff until none of the stuff until like I got on it. But I love the chasing brand now. I do. I have become like a fan. Like I like these girls. I love reading those girls. They're my favorite girls to read at the moment. Um, Outside of that, I don't do the bad boys stuff, so I can't get into it. And I don't know any other show. I mean, G Status isn't out anymore. I would have reviewed that honestly. Like I would have threw shade and everything, but I would have reviewed G Status when it came out.
Um, I okay. Even though I don't review these shows, because the only ones that I do is chasing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be
I
honest.
see why.
However,
I can see why. I
however,
see
I
why.
did like the crew. I enjoyed the crew. I
I
did.
never watched it.
It's a
I,
good show.
I can't get into real life and philanthropy because like
I never I tried to watch that show, but I couldn't get
It's
into it.
hard to capture, right?
It's just
It's
me,
really,
yeah. You know, it's no shade to them.
no
They
shade, no
try to do
shade
it,
to you,
but you
honey.
know.
But yeah, it's hard to capture.
But I do like the crew. I liked Rookies when it was out, and I did like the come up. I preferred Atlanta over New York at first, and what other
Mhm.
shows did I look at on here? Because I've been watching web reality for a long time. I think
I
the
have
come
not.
up, the come up and Chasing Atlanta were the first two I ever looked at.
Ooh.
What's the other one? It's another one. I did watch On the Rise. I be on and off with On the Rise Houston, but now that I know that you're going to be reviewing it, it give me more reason to look at it now.
Ooh.
So I'll be looking at it even more now that you're going to be reviewing it because you have a way of telling the story and making it make sense and making you want to tune in and look at it.
Mhm.
And I
Thank you.
think what's another one? But I think that's about it though, because it's not that many out right now. But that's about it. Um, so yeah. Now another question that I always ask up and coming YouTubers when I do this is, are there any? Have you faced any? Have there been any challenges for you doing YouTube since you started? And if so, what are they?
The copyright stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because like I wanted to do a whole segment on my channel where, since I was in the web reality type space, I wanted
Hmm.
to play their music. And I remember playing someone's music and then there was like muting it
Mm,
or whatever. And it was like copyright because these people don't really own the license to their music. So it's
yeah.
like, you can't do it. So it was like, that was frustrating. So I had to mute part of my lives. And it was that. I think that was probably the most challenging. But outside of that, it didn't really be no challenge for me.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand the copyright thing because sometimes when you play an artist's music, not necessarily a mainstream artist, because I wouldn't dare play their music on here because they're gonna snatch.
Right. You know they're going to snatch it.
But
Right.
like when it comes like to Tramiel, I could play his music with no issue. With Carl, I could play his music with no issue. With Bando, I could play his music with no issue. However,
Mhm.
the last song that Bando released, which was the song he put out last week, at first, it didn't give me a copyright strike or a claim, but what it did was I had the option to either mute it or just share the revenue with the person that made the beat, I believe. And because of who it was and whose song it was, I did decide to share the revenue. Of course, I did, whatever. So it was
Oh,
no big deal.
Jesus. Oh, you're such a good boyfriend. Where's my Scotty in life, honey?
So, whatever. But yeah, so that's your only struggle. Now we're at the end of it. So this is what I would do, which is what I do with everybody that I've done this with. I always give a word of advice to all of the newbies that's on the rise or whatever.
What do you have to say, honey?
Well, first of all, remain yourself. Always be authentically you. People can watch you and know that you're not being yourself. They can recognize it. They can recognize growth, but they can also recognize when you're being fake as fuck. So my advice to you is to just be authentically you. Authenticity sells. People love to see that. If you're shady, be your authentically shady self. If you're messy as hell, be your authentically messy self. Like, don't put on no airs, don't put on no fake personas, don't take away from other people's personas. Just be Harvianna. Just do that. Like, you don't have to do that.
Oh, Scotty is shady. Y'all didn't catch that, but
I'm
I
not
caught
being,
it.
I'm not being shady at all. I'm
I
just being
caught it, honey.
no, I'm not being shady at all because I watch a lot of YouTube and there are even some big YouTubers that do take from other people, and
They do.
I know that they're not being themselves. And I am being myself. This is how I am all day long. You met me in person. I'm a little shy in person when you first meet me. Of course, you know that for yourself. But when I get comfortable, then this is me all the way. But that's the main thing. And number two, stay true to your audience. Always be sure to let them know when you putting videos out, and make sure you do the content that you want to do and not the content that you feel like is going to get you views. I could easily get up here and do a video to talk shit about people and do all types of things like that because I know it'll get me views, but I'm not going to fucking do that because
Right.
that ain't what it is. I'm not going to do that at all because
And
that's
I'm
not me.
learning that. That's a lesson because I was just a thumbnail on somebody's stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to respond to that. Yeah. So I'm learning that,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
So
sometimes you just gotta do you,
mhm.
focus on you. And also, another thing that I'm also learning as a person that been doing this, I also want to let you know this too. The more your channel grows, the more you're gonna be loved, but also the more you're gonna get people that don't like you or what or just want to find a reason to hate. Like I'm learning that, I'm still learning that. That's just the basis of the game. The more you grow, the more the hate. Even though you got a lot of love, the hate is just gonna be just as strong as the love, and I know that for a fact. And I don't fuck with not a soul, but the hate is still there. You know what I'm saying? So just do you, keep it going, and I will be along for the ride. You know, I love your channel, love your platform, love you as a person. And I'm always gonna be supporting, and I'm gonna always, I'm gonna always be here to see you grow. That's all I want to see you do is grow the same way I do with Aaron. And you and Aaron make a great team, by the way. I really do think
Absolutely.
y'all do, and I think y'all should continue on with the Let's Kiki panel. It don't even just have to be about chasing. You can always
Kiki
turn it
about
into
other
something
stuff. We
else.
can.
Yeah, y'all can,
We
cause
can dance about it
y'all
all.
got the personalities to pull it off. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. So y'all can turn it to whatever you want it to. So with that being said, I'm glad that you did this with me. I appreciated
Thank
it.
you
I
for
really
having me.
enjoyed you, which I knew that I would. And yeah, love you, Harvianna. Thank you for doing this.
Love you as well. More heart.
And with that being said, this was another episode of Young, Fresh, and New, and we're up out of here. Be sure to subscribe to Harvianna's page. His link will be at the bottom in the description box for you to go to his channel, subscribe, and support him and do all that good stuff. And we're out of here, y'all. Bye, y'all.